Weather has definitely been one of the stories of Regulation H so far, and we've seen it play out right here on this very channel. My first Reg H video, in which I showed my first Reg H games, I used a snow team. I've since featured rain and sun in videos, and I've been occasionally streaming Limitless tournaments where I play around with a project team that right now is running sand. But we're going to circle back to rain today because rain won the Baltimore Regional Championship with the standard threats right now in our Chaladon and Basque Legion, but also everyone talking about the Maushold, another friend of the channel. We're going to unlice the mice here one more time. Disclaimer you may have heard before on this channel, I don't have the EVs that the team's original creator used, so I made up my own spreads. And I can pretty well guarantee that they're worse than the actual tournament-winning team. But we have the sets otherwise, and we're going to try them out. Nothing too groundbreaking here, although the Maushold is very cool. And can set up the Archaladon, of course, with a side target into stamina. But otherwise, you got Pelipper, Basque Legion, Archaladon, and then Fire, Water, Grass with Amoonguss and Incineroar providing support. Nothing too crazy, but obviously a solid team, judging by its recent performance. And we're going to start off right now against this Hisuian Typhlosion team right here. So they're not going to like to face the rain. On the other hand, we don't really like to see a sunny day from Whimsicott. Incineroar is pretty threatening into a lot of their team, although the King Gambit is a threat back. Might as well accept open team sheets. How do I deal with the King Gambit? I can lead our Chaladon next to Incineroar. I can lead Amoonguss next to Incineroar. I actually think I like that more. And I think I bring Pelipper in the back. With our Chaladon. I don't feel great about leaving the Basque Legion behind. I think that might have been the wrong call. Maybe I didn't have room for Amoonguss here, but as it is, not having Clear Smog on the Amoonguss is also kind of an issue here. I can just hard switch to Pelipper, but I'm worried about a sunny day. I can also just Terra Water, and even just like Clear Smog into the Whimsicott should do a lot of damage. I think I'm just going to do that and go for a knockoff into the Typhlosion. Even if they switch, something loses its item. That Eruption still does a ton of damage to Incineroar with the crit. But we do just clean knock out Typhlosion, so that's nice. And Clear Smog does a lot to Whimsicott. Okay, the Sneasler comes in. The Sneasler is a bit of an issue. But I think I could just try to put it to sleep and swap Incineroar out to Pelipper. Turn off their sun. Not that they're really using it that much now, so they might not prioritize setting it back up. As we don't actually get to put the Sneasler to sleep, with the Amoonguss being made to flinch. I like the normal gem fake out tech. Maybe that's common now, I don't know, but I haven't seen it before. I kind of want to just pivot Incineroar back in and get an Intimidate on the Sneasler. I feel like that's arguably the best thing Incineroar can do for me at this point in the game. So I'm going to go for another Spore into Sneasler and just switch to Incineroar. Get that Intimidate, and maybe now I can put the Sneasler to sleep, although, well, good thing, you know, the Terra Water on Amoonguss is really coming in handy, actually, as it takes that hit. And actually, I think here I can fake out Whimsicott and go for a Pollen Puff into Incineroar, get that healthy again, and then I can even take advantage of my opponent's sun to go for a Flare Blitz into the Sneasler if I want to, since it doesn't have an item to boost my knockoff damage. Sneasler takes its mandatory sleep turn. Amoonguss just barely takes a Moonblast. That actually got a little dicey there. But I can switch Amoonguss out now, get Regenerator, and get our Chaladon in, I think. I am kind of counting on the Sneasler to stay asleep, but if it does, that's nice for me, and it does. Our Chaladon here gets a stamina boost and doesn't take very much damage from the Moonblast. It does take a special attack drop, but yeah, Incineroar just wipes out Sneasler with the sun-boosted Flare Blitz. And I'm actually going to switch Amoonguss back in here. get rid of the special attack drop on our Chaldon, but also cover for any tricks that the King Gambit might have up its sleeve, and I'm just going to try to throw a Flare Blitz at that too. I don't think Incineroar is going to drop to a Sucker Punch. But they go Tailwind Brick Break instead, and I admit I didn't see that one coming. But I think here I can get Pelipper in. I can Weather Ball King Gambit, and if they set up the Sun, then it turns into a Fire-type attack, even better. And I think yeah, I think I'm probably fine to just click Rage Powder here. Yep, so Amogus is knocked out by the Kowtow Cleave, but King Gambit has to take the Fire-type Weather Ball. It actually does survive, which is not what I was hoping for, but now I think I can just double target it with... They used their Terra. Yeah, on Sneasler. So yeah, with Body Press and Weather Ball. I don't think Whimsicott can knock anything out this turn, so I think they can get at most 1 KO. Ooh, it was closer than I thought, but they didn't get any KOs. Pelipper takes out the King Gambit with Weather Ball, and Archaludon finishes off the Whimsicott. So that one got closer than I wanted toward the end. There may have been some issues with how I played it, but I was feeling pretty good at least for a while there. And in any case, the rain powers through. This opponent doesn't seem to have any weather. They have a bunch of interesting and unusual Pokemon, but also just a pretty well-balanced team through it all. I think our Archaludon can be very strong here if I can figure out the right way to get it going. In fact, I might even be down to lead Archaludon Maushold and see if I can pull off the side Population Bomb tech. I think I definitely bring Pelipper to this one, and... Oh, we get their team sheet. Voice Band Metagross is kind of scary. Bulk up Ceruledge. I could bring Incineroar to this one. Or I could bring Basculegion. I think Basculegion is okay. I think I'm covering enough for the Rillaboom with Archaludon and Pelipper. Though it does have high horsepower. Okay, Specs Archaludon is... Or Specs Hydreigon is not really what I want to see with this lead. Terra Poison, so I can't even safely Body Press into it. But I think I just have to focus on it. Honestly, let's just target it with both of my Pokemon. See how it takes Population Bomb. Watch that screen fill up with text again. No Dragon Cheer, Terra Dragon, Maushold this time, but still plenty to KO the Archaludon. And look at that, why do I keep doing that? The Hydreigon. And look at that, Hydreigon was such a threat, I thought. But Maushold is so strong with the normal type damage that Hydreigon is just Hydreigon now. It's not Volt Absorb Kilowattrel. So I do have the option here to switch Pelipper in and Electro Shoot the Kilowattrel. But I actually think I'd rather taunt Ceruledge and deny it setup. So let's just Dragon Pulse into Kilowattrel and taunt into Ceruledge. That way it can't run away with bulk ups exactly. Don't want to let it do that. Rillaboom is in, threatening Fake Out. Of course, I can't protect Archaludon, so I think I'm down to just swap to Pelipper and see if they let me have an Electro Shot. If not, they give me a defense boost. They fake out the Pelipper slot and just go right for Bitter Blade, nerfed, of course, by the rain. I do get a defense boost there, and I get off a big Electro Shot into Ceruledge. I'm running a very bulky Archaludon, so it's not going to hit very hard at first. I don't know whether that's really the call with this team, but it certainly worked out in this game. And we move on to the next. So you just have to have an answer to Archaludon in this format. And I did pretty well there at shutting down any possible answers that they had. So the Maushold really came through in that game. As if you can't break Archaludon, you're just going to lose in Reg H. I've had teams I made that worked pretty well, except when I ran into Archaludon, I just couldn't do anything. Here we've got a Sand team with my guys, Tyranitar and Excadrill. I definitely want to try them out in this format at some point. I feel like nothing much especially threatens our Chaladon here, except the ground types. I kind of feel like I could just, like... I could lead our Chaladon Basculegion, I think. And then switch Pelipper into whichever slot is more favorable. I'm not sure that play really makes sense, but I'm down to try it anyway. Nice to experiment when you're testing out a team like this. And... I could bring Maushold here, or Incineroar. I think I'll bring Incineroar. I like the Intimidate support, and I like the Dark coverage into Sinistra. Okay, so they lead Dragonite Primarina, and I think I want to just switch Basculegion out to Pelipper and go right for an Electro Shot into Primarina. I think I'm not that afraid of the Dragonite, at least without having seen my opponent's team sheet. And I think Basculegion is best saved to try to handle Excadrill and Tyranitar if they bring those in the back. Or even Rotom if I get the positioning right. Primarina protects, so I believe the way this works is I get my special attack boost, but yeah, I don't get the attack off successfully. Pelipper knocked down to its Sash is not great, because there's not really anything that I want to switch into this Dragonite that's setting up Outrage, or that's just attacking with Outrage, but I don't think I can let Pelipper go down here. I guess I could just protect it and go for another Electro Shot. I could Terra Grass here, but no, I don't actually gain anything from it in this position. This Terra Grass Primarina. Oh, that Outrage does too much to our Chaladon. I think this is a game-losing turn right here. As they double into our Chaladon and they get rid of it. Smart play by my opponent. I need Basculegion to clean up from here, but I'm not confident that it will. I mean, I have to click Last Respect, and it's only 100 power right now. Maybe the Dragonite will hurt itself. We can only hope. Last Respect does a little more than half. Oh, and Hurricane actually knocks it out. And now Last Respects will get the Pelipper buff, I believe. But I only have 2 turns of Rain left, and if they have Sand in the back, I can't turn it off. Maybe I needed to set Tailwind there. I don't think I was thinking correctly about the speed control part of the game at that point. I might just be able to take Tyranitar out with a Wave Crash here, though, while I fake out Primarina. I think I need to be making plays like that if I'm going to get back into this game. Yep, that works. But if they get Excadrill in here, I don't really have an answer to it. Oh, it's Rotom. So I can Wave Crash that and Flare Blitz Primarina? Oh, well, okay, yeah. I was maybe getting a little reckless there, but Incineroar actually, I almost never run Speed EVs on Incineroar, but since I'm using someone else's team and I've heard that Fast Incineroar is popular right now, I've gone ahead with Fast one this time, and it does come through against that Primarina. I usually go for bulk on Incineroar, but very good case for Fast Incineroar right there. And I'm just going to Terra Water Wave Crash, and I think that'll take out the Rotom. So, 3 games, 3 wins so far, even when I haven't felt very good with the way I'm using this team or with the version of its sets that I've made. It's still coming through, and that's something that I tend to appreciate about these tournament-winning teams. They're just so well constructed that you can usually find the right game plan or the right adjustment to get through even a rough situation. Speaking of snow, we've got the Alola Ninetales on this team, no doubt to set screens, although that makes me wonder what the Sableye is there for. Could be Will-O-Wisp, Thunderwave, Quash. It also looks like they want Trick Room with the Gallade, but it's not a hard Trick Room team. I don't know exactly what my read of this team is, and I don't know that I know exactly how to play against it either. I think Assault Vest or Chaladon is probably pretty strong here. I might even want to consider doing the Maushold setup. I feel like the fact that Basculegion is my water-type attacker actually hurts a little bit here. It would be kind of nice if I could get Pelipper in and just like spam Surf or Muddy Water with something, but I'll try our Chaladon Maushold lead because I haven't had a better idea. And I think I'll bring Pelipper, and I kind of want to bring Basculegion, but I think it's more responsible to bring Amoonguss to this one. Well, Amoonguss isn't that good into some of these Pokemon. Maybe I need Incineroar. I'm going to bring Incineroar. Incineroar is useful into everything on this team, even if it's not necessarily good into everything. Now, what do I actually do about this Volcarona? I could go for Population Bomb, but then I'm going to get a Flame Body burn. That's not great. Our Chaladon doesn't really have a way to hit it very hard. I guess I could just switch to Pelipper and try to set up with Electro Shot. That might be too slow with this bulkier Chaladon that I'm using. But I may have just not brought the right Pokemon to deal with this lead, we'll see. Or maybe I needed to go Incineroar here, not be afraid of the Flame Body, get a knockoff. That could have made a lot of sense, I think. Oh, the Electro Shot crits. Maybe we can build on that. We can just maybe we can just go for a Dragon Pulse and that Tailwind here. I could go for a Hurricane into Volcarona, but I think the Tailwind is more likely to pay off in the long term. Although again, I think there's a good chance that the Sableye has Quash. I don't think you run. I mean, Sableye usually runs screens or like speed control tech, and they have the screens on Ninetales, almost certainly. Okay, that Dragon Pulse did 50%, so I mean we can force Volcarona out or KO it here. I'm also going to Hurricane that slot, keep up the pressure, or I'm not because I get locked into Tailwind, but if we're not fully paralyzed, we would have taken out Volcarona that turn. I'm going to go ahead... Oop, wrong move. I'm going to go ahead and switch Pelipper out to Incineroar. Pelipper's not useful locked into Tailwind, and it may be able to get off an attack when it comes back in later, as they go Alolan Ninetales. So they turn off my Rain, and they crit our Chaladon with a Fiery Dance that I'm not confident would have KO'd otherwise. I'm going to bring in the Mice. This might be a throw. I'm going to protect the Mice and knock off Volcarona and hope that KOs. I was thinking about going for a Population Bomb into the Ninetales, try to deny... Actually, yeah, I still have Tailwind up. I can do that play. I'm going to try to deny the Aurora Veil. Because I have Tailwind up, I think... Yeah, that means that Volcarona won't KO Maushold before Maushold gets an attack off. I mean, if I Population Bomb into a Protect, I'll feel pretty foolish here, but I get a lot of momentum if this works. And I do get off the Population Bomb. If it gets all 10 hits, never mind, it won't KO Ninetales. Oh, well, the crit. Well, 2 crits in a row, actually. No Dragon Cheer strats, but the Population Bomb crits come through and do one-shot the Ninetales. Unfortunately, I've traded Maushold for it, but I've also gotten rid of Volcarona, and now I have Incineroar and Pelipper against Sableye and whatever's in the back. Not the ideal combination of Pokemon, especially as they reveal the Gallade, but I'm just going to protect Pelipper, and I can't have Incineroar taking a Sacred Sword, so I'm going to Terra Ghost and... Actually, I can Terra Ghost and fake out Gallade and go for a Hurricane into it. Let's do that. Because then they can't fake out Incineroar. They can still fake out... Oh, I forgot that it's not Incineroar's first turn out. Okay, well that was pretty silly, but the Terra Ghost play worked at least. Now I can try to get rid of Gallade. Just double target it. Sableye's not really an offensive threat on its own. Yeah, I really threw by not using knockoff into Gallade that turn, but Gallade doesn't usually run a dark type attack, or yeah, it doesn't usually run Night Slash or anything ghost type, so Pelipper takes the Psycho Cut, so we get a chance to knock Gallade out here. We do break through the paralysis, and we can clean up the Sableye from there. So even though I really messed up that one turn, my position was just too strong for the opponent to overcome. Now, these are starting to look like the kinds of teams that I'd be worried about if I went to a tournament right now. How do I deal with Blaze Breed Tauros? Pelipper is my best answer to it. Basculegion situationally. Then I have to worry about the Rillaboom and their Basculegion. They don't have weather, so I think I can just lead our Chaladon Pelipper, and that gives me something for just about everything on their team. I think I do bring Basculegion. And then being kind of worried about the Rillaboom, Incineroar makes some sense here, except that it can give King Gambit the Defiant boost. And it's weak to their Basculegion and their Tauros. Amoonguss might be better. And it can help against the Rillaboom as well. I'll bring Amoonguss. Really, Clefable, King Gambit. So if I just go for a body press into King Gambit, they can redirect that. But maybe I can overwhelm the Clefable with Electro Shot and Weather Ball. They don't redirect. What is the King Gambit going for? Clefable survives. Gets off a Thunder Wave into our Chaladon. King Gambit just sets up a Swords Dance. Yeah, that's kind of what I was worried about. And if it has a fighting attack... But I'm just going to read that it probably doesn't. You can get rid of the Clefable here. Our Chaladon does not take a Kowtow Cleave. Does anyone on my team take a Kowtow Cleave? If I bring Basculegion in and go Terra Water, do I take a Sucker Punch? I'm going to go Amoonguss. This is really bad because Amoonguss doesn't have Protect. But I can't switch Basculegion in here. So I'm just going to have to try to Spore the King Gambit slot, and because I think they fake out Amoonguss, I'm going to go for a Weather Ball into King Gambit. Instead of protecting Pelipper, which instead eats the fake out. Okay, yeah, Amoonguss just gets knocked out by the Kowtow Cleave. That does make sense. It is a more straightforward plan for my opponent. I don't think I can win this now, but if I can, it starts with Terra Water Basculegion. But the way the game ended there, yeah, we know the outcome. So I don't know how this team deals with something like that. I think the Maushold could have been useful there. It would have... I think it could have helped me get rid of the Clefable more quickly, and then I might have also had a chance to Population Bomb into our Chaladon, and that would have given it a fighting chance against King Gambit. So if I see a matchup like that again, I probably want to be thinking about a game plan like that. Now we have Wolf Glick's team. I'm a Patreon member, so I have every detail of this team, or I have access to them. But that doesn't necessarily mean that I have studied up. My team is pretty dependent on its abilities, huh? Maushold probably, well, Amoonguss probably least so, and then Maushold, but the Technician damage on the Population Bomb is important. How do I beat Galarian Weezing? I think with Terra Grass or Chaladon, and I'll bring Pelipper, and then I can double target the Weezing with special attacks if they lead with it. I'll bring Basculegion for an endgame where I've hopefully gotten rid of the Weezing, and I will bring Maushold just because it's good, and I feel like I could use the damage in some situations. So it's Weezing Typhlosion lead. So this is something Wolf talked about in the Patreon. Weezing can force Grass Terras. No, Toedscruel can force Grass Terras, and then Typhlosion can clean those Pokemon up, or Weezing can. But they don't have Toedscruel here, so I don't have to Terra. I can just Flash Cannon and go for a No-Rain Hurricane into the Weezing and hope I land it. The Heat Wave doesn't do too much. Good thing I put a lot of bulk on this Chaladon, as we do just get rid of the Weezing turn 1, and we get our abilities for the rest of the game. It's huge. The Pommet is a threat. Pommet can knock out either one of my Pokemon here. I I can make a switch and sack something, but the problem is I don't know which slot the Palmet will attack. And try as I might, I don't have a read on it, so I'm just going to Terra Grass our Chaladon and count on the rain to keep it alive against Typhlosion. And just go for an Electro Shot into Palmet. And I'm actually am going to switch to Maushold. I think no matter what, our Chaladon gets an attack off this turn. Wait, why did I go for Electro Shot? It has Volt Absorb. I don't know what I was thinking there. That's just a complete unforced error. Well, that's the advantage sometimes of running a Pokemon that your opponents aren't used to. I'm going to bring Basculegion in. No. No, I'm just going to go for an Electro Shot into Corviknight. If they don't let me have it, oh well. But I think it only hurts me to try to pivot around here when our Chaladon is not really useful in the late game anyway. And let's just go right for a Population Bomb into Palmet. Yeah, it doesn't want to deal with the mice. Our Chaladon actually goes before Corviknight and takes it out with Electro Shots. So yeah, staying in, definitely the play there. And again, we see Maushold exerting pressure just with the Population Bomb that the opponent has to respect. So the Palmet was forced to protect there to survive the turn, and our Chaladon was able to get an attack off. Typhlosion has... Okay, its only moves that work on Maushold here are Eruption and Heat Wave. Of course, Shadow Ball is an immunity. I think I can Population Bomb the Typhlosion. And then Palmet will just not be able to win the game by itself from there. I just need Maushold to take this Heat Wave, not get burned. And unless I'm very unlucky, this should KO. Population Bomb is such a funny move. And yeah, the Palmet... Oh, maybe I did need to attack Palmet there. But no, I think I still win this, because this turn, Basculegion will go first and can Wave Crash into the Palmet. And I actually think I go for Tailwind with Pelipper. If they protect, then I don't have to worry about speed control when the rain ends. If they attack Basculegion, then Pelipper can win next turn. If they attack Pelipper, then Basculegion can win next turn. So yeah, Tailwind it is. We knock Palmet down to its Sash. No Protect. They knock out Basculegion. Of course, they now can't use Double Shock again, but in any case, I get speed control up on Pelipper, and I can just knock this out with a no-weather Weather Ball. They're going to go for the Triple Protect to still have a chance of winning. Although even then, I don't think Close Combat will knock Pelipper out, but it doesn't matter. They actually don't go for the Triple Protect. They just get the one, and then no-weather Weather Ball. Normal type, of course, finishes Palmet off. So that was Wolf's team. That's fun. Now we got an Altaria. So that'll turn off my weather, presumably, if it comes in. I think our Chaladon is fine into this all the same. And I like Maushold with our Chaladon. I can threaten the Altaria if they lead it. I can threaten the Amoonguss if it has a Rocky Helmet. That's bad luck for me, but otherwise it's okay. I like Incineroar into most of these Pokemon, but I have to watch out for boosting the Melodic. But Melodic is just not that strong. I think our Chaladon beats it anyway, so I'll bring Incineroar. And if I'm doing that, then I think I should bring Pelipper, so that I can get off the one-turn Electro Shot. They do just lead Altaria with Goldango. That's a little tricky. There's not really anything... I don't really see anything good for our Chaladon to do if I Population Bomb into Altaria. So let's just switch Maushold out for Incineroar and go for a Dragon Pulse. I don't think it'll clean knock Altaria out with not much special attack investment on this Chaladon, but it should do some chip at least. That's a crit Shadow Ball, and it did not do very much. It did unfortunately get the drop. And then they hazed the drop away. Don't know why they did that, but... Will they let me just get a knockoff into Goldango? Looks like they will. Have let our Chaladon take a lot of damage. And the Goldango is not KO'd. I don't think I can leave our Chaladon in this turn. I think I go Pelipper. and I see if they let me finish Goldango off. And then I still have to deal with the Altaria, but it hasn't shown itself to be much of a threat so far. Goldango just keeps getting the special defense drops, and Pelipper goes down, but I get our Chowladon in here. I can go right for a body press into their Incineroar and a knockoff. Yeah, let's do that. See if we can get rid of Altaria this turn. And we can. I think that means the rain should be working now. It's still crossed out in the showdown display, but... Oh, and the burn. Oh, maybe, I guess the rain kicks in at the end of the turn. The Flare Blitz burn is pretty unfortunate for me, but honestly, I guess I'm trying to clean the game up with Maushold at this point. And I might just be able to do it. Okay. I have no Protect on our Chowladon. I'll just go for an Electro Shot into Incineroar. Would be nice if it KOs. And with no Protect on Incineroar either... I don't think I Terra Ghost around a possible Fake Out here. I think I preserve the Terra Grass on Maushold and try to win the end game against Rillaboom. So I'm going to go for Knockoff into their Incineroar. They Fake Out a Chowladon. Get the Knockoff. It doesn't do much. Denying that Figgy Berry is nice, though. And at least our Chowladon won't drop to the burn damage with Grassy Terrain up. Try again to do what damage I can to their Incineroar. Or maybe I need to be getting Chip on Rillaboom. I don't know. I'm envisioning this like... it would be nice to KO Incineroar. Oh, and they might actually just let me do it as our Chowladon gets off the Electro Shot. And now I have that Rillaboom endgame that I wanted, and it's shown Drain Punch, so all the more reason to like the Terra Grass on Maushold here, and just go right for Population Bomb, and... I mean, I think any of Incineroar's moves are fine except Fake Out, but hey, Flare Blitz could burn them. But... Or maybe Population Bomb will just land all 10 hits and get the KO. No, some of them are doing less than 10%. Unless there's a crit at the end. Nope, but Incineroar gets the KO with Flare Blitz. Maushold coming through yet again, cleaning up that end game very nicely. And it was a weirdly comforting Pokemon to have there because I knew it would be faster than Incineroar. The Terra Grass would protect it from Rillaboom's stab. And what were they going to do? Not many Pokemon want to take that Population Bomb damage, so Maushold looking like a very respectable threat in Reg H. This team has a Gengar, my favorite Pokemon, but hopefully we'll defeat it. Focus Sash, Choice Band, Hisui, and Arcanine. It's a bit of a threat too. Setting up our Chowladon would be nice. I have to watch out for Garchomp, mainly. And, well, also the Gengar. But they don't have Weather. I think I'm down to just lead Pelipper or Chowladon, bring Basculegion, and I don't actually love Maushold into Rough Skin, Garchomp, and Gengar, and even King Gambit. I don't really like Incineroar into King Gambit either, but I think we bring Incineroar here. Although after that last game, maybe I should just bring Maushold to every game, but that's not really how it works. Okay, the Arcanine can just throw off a Choice Banded Rock-type attack. And there's not really anything I want to switch in on that, so I think we just allow it. What does the Whimsicott have? Moonblast, Encore, Tailwind... Sunny Day! It has Sunny Day. You know, I didn't check that before I... Okay, you know what? We're going to take a little bit of a risk here. We're going to body press the Arcanine slot, and we're going to switch in Incineroar so that if they go Sunny Day, Flare Blitz, at least they have to take an Intimidate. But if they go for a Rock-type attack into the Pelipper slot, then that does not pay off for me, as is in fact the case here. That's so much recoil damage, though. So we trade Incineroar for Arcanine. I don't think I hate that. Maybe it's not ideal when I have these water types in the back, and maybe should be able to deal with Hisuian Arcanine anyway. But, I don't know. That Pokemon scared me there. Try to set up Encore Whimsicott, though. I'm actually just going to Flash Cannon and Hurricane into Sylveon. They can go Sunny Day again, and they do. Sylveon is not quite KO'd. They get the Yawn off into our Chaladon. I'm not eager to switch our Chaladon out, to be honest. Sylveon has Protect. Whimsicott doesn't. Let's try to get rid of Whimsicott, and let's try to deal with the Sleep turns after that. As Whimsicott doesn't have the Focus Sash, actually, the Gengar does, so Fire-type Weather Ball just takes it out, and Flash Cannon finishes off Sylveon. Aggressive play might be paying off again, although this is not Sword Stance King Gambit, it's Assault Vest King Gambit. I do have to watch out for the low kick. This might... Do I Terrasilize our Chaladon? I don't think I do. I think... I'm threatening so much damage into King Gambit. Yeah, it had to target Pelipper there. Actually, I probably should have gotten Basculegion in that turn. Then Basculegion would go down, and then No, I think I have to use to rely on Basculegion here. Terrastilize Basculegion in the hope that it can take a Sucker Punch and take the and throw off the Terra boosted but Sun nerfed Wave Crash. So they actually go for the low kick into our Chaladon there. It doesn't do that much. I think our Chaladon, even staying asleep here, I think there's a good chance that it wakes up next turn and wins the game. And they forfeit, so we don't get to find out. Is there really no way they could win that? Low kick did... Yeah, maybe not. I don't think I would forfeit there, but there may not have been any way for them to win. Now we've got a Sneasler team. More importantly, a Clawitzer team. I feel like Clawitzer is a weird Pokemon to use. Clawitzer is pretty slow, right? I think it is. I feel like it's weird outside of Trick Room is what I'm saying. I'm not trying to say that it's generally weird, although, to be perfectly honest, I didn't remember that it's in Scarlet and Violet, so that might tell you something. I think the mice... I think I like the mice here, just be able for posing a threat to the Clefable and to the Clawitzer. They're not as good into the other Pokemon, though. Incineroar's pretty good here. Incineroar is very good into most of these Pokemon. But I'm starting to make myself vulnerable to the Sneasler as I formulate this game plan. What if I lead Incineroar, Maushold, and I bring Pelipper and Basculegion? That might be the first game of the video where I don't bring our Chaladon, and that might be a mistake. But I mean, here I'm gonna go for Population. I think I'm gonna go for Population Bomb into Clefable and try to get a Parting Shot off into Clawitzer. If this doesn't KO, then it'll be a Parting Shot into Clefable instead. This looks like it might KO though. Wide Lens Maushold has really been coming through this video. As I do get my Parting Shot into Clawitzer, I'll get Pelipper in here. If they go for a Water Attack into Incineroar, now it's a Water Attack into Pelipper. And they just forfeit. That was quick. Don't know what they were cooking with the Clawitzer, unfortunately. Voltango, Rillaboom, Grimmsnarl, Hisuian Samurott, Incineroar, Hydreigon. I think this might have been a Baltimore team. I saw Hisuian Samurott somewhere high up in the results. Probably faced a few Baltimore teams tonight. This will go up at like 5 p.m. tonight, on this night that I'm recording it, of course. Go back to our buddy Chaladon here. But I'm iffy on the Maushold with it. I think it's okay. If they lead Hydreigon, I can do something like... You know what? I think I prefer Incineroar leading next to our Chaladon in this game. It doesn't threaten... No, I think I lead Archelodon, Maushold, I bring Incineroar in the back, and... I mean, my gut says Pelipper. I don't think anybody else really makes much sense here. I'm not sure I found the right mode, but... Hey, we're experimenting with a team I haven't used before. I do kind of like the idea of just switching Pelipper into the Maushold slot and going for an Electro Shot into Samurott here. It's Terra-Fighting. Might regret that. Oh, yeah. Might regret that, alright. But, okay, I'll bring back the mice. And I'll just go I think I have to Population Bomb the Samurott, because it's probably faster than Pelipper. And I'll go for a Tailwind. Oh, okay. Population Bomb into the Grimmsnarl. I guess might have been more sensible there. The good news is I can now threaten a double target into the Samurott. That is letting the Grimmsnarl off the hook, and we don't know what else it can do. We don't like to see that. This is just a bad turn for me all around. Except the confusion on the Goldango, but... Alright. I can't let Pelipper take another Sucker Punch right now. I'm going to Population Bomb Grimmsnarl and switch to Incineroar. If they go for a Make It Rain, Incineroar can take that, I would think. That's a good Population Bomb crit. We KO Grimmsnarl thanks to the crit. I do feel like I've been pretty lucky with some of these Population Bomb rolls, but your move is hitting 10 separate times. You just have more opportunities to get good luck there. Is this Incineroar's first turn on the field? I think I go for the knockoff into Goldango. They're going to fake out Incineroar, and I'm going to feel silly, but... Oh, they don't. Okay. Never mind. Tailwind is up, but these Pokemon are both fast. Might as well Population Bomb Rillaboom, and there's no rain. I can go for a Flare Blitz into Goldango. But I don't think I'm one... They don't have Reflect up anymore. Let's just Flare Blitz Goldango. Ah, maybe I'm not. Maybe I'm throwing away a chance to get rid of its item here. And I'll feel silly when this doesn't one-shot, but we'll see. They don't have Reflect up anymore. It's not raining. I don't have Tailwind, but my Pokemon are still fast threats to their team, as Population Bomb might knock out the Rillaboom. Wide Lens Population Bomb is just too good. Flare Blitz to 75% to Goldango. That's pretty good. +2 Make It Rain. I do have less bulk than I'm used to on Incineroar, but we still take that pretty well. Get Pelipper in. I get Samurott. Unfortunately, I think I do lose to Samurott here. I have to just be aggressive. There's nothing else I can do. Wait, did I win? My Pokemon were still faster. I am running a lot of speed on Pelipper because I figure with a Sash Pelipper that's probably what you want to do, but I thought the Samurott would be faster, but it wasn't. So we take that one. This team is just full of threats. I love it. Huge props to Nicholas Morales, I think. The player who won Baltimore with this. Ooh, Hisuian Zoroark. I feel like I might have seen this team in the Baltimore results as well, or something like it. Sunroom with Hisuian Zoroark. That's tricky. I also just can't throw off Population Bomb willy-nilly when there's a ghost type that can disguise itself on the other side. How do you beat Psy Spam with this team? Incineroar is a good piece into Psy Spam, of course. Does kind of have to watch out for Gallade. I don't have Wide Guard on Pelipper, but I feel like Pelipper could still be strong if they don't lead the Torkoal. I honestly think Maushold is still a reasonable lead here. Or you know what? I'm gonna lead Archelodon and Incineroar. Pelipper. should probably bring Amoonguss. This is probably the kind of matchup that Amoonguss is for, but I feel like I'm not bringing enough offense if I do that. So I'll bring Basculegion, and if that's a mistake, we'll find out. They lead Armarouge and Didi, or so it appears. And I'll just try to attack the Armarouge. I imagine they won't let me one way or another. But Knockoff is pretty good into everything they've got here. Nothing wants to switch in on it. Hisui and Zoroark doesn't want to take it. Armarouge doesn't want to take it. Having the Knockoff available turn 1 is very threatening to their team. We'll see what they do. Ah, weak armor weakness policy, and the Indeedee was really Zoroark, which I should have realized, I guess, when the Psychic Terrain didn't go up. That was pretty silly of me. Here's the real Indeedee with the real Psychic Terrain. And they just knock they just knock Incineroar out with Aura Sphere. That's a good tech. And, I mean, my team just drops to Expanding Force at this point. I'll try to set my stuff up, but I think they get Trick Room and I just lose. That was very good use of the Zoroark there. Oh, they don't want Trick Room. They're weak armor weakness policy. They just do that. They knock Pelipper down with Sash, but we will knock out the Armarouge here. But yeah, that was very good, bluffing the Trick Room setup there and getting the U-turn set up into Armarouge. I like that a lot. And now they bring in Torkoal, and we know it's the real Torkoal because we're actually paying attention to their ability this time. And they can just follow me and, like, Eruption, and what do I do about it? I just lose, I think. I'm going to switch Basculegion in, hope it survives the turn, and then I can use it under Rain. Dragon Pulse does not KO the Indeedee. They crit Basculegion with the Eruption. Don't love that. I do get my Rain up now. And hopefully I can finish Indeedee off with this Weather Ball as I protect Basculegion. I always put Protect in the last slot, so that was ripe for a misclick right there, but I figured it out. I know WolfClick recommends Protect in the first slot because if you time out and it selects the first move, Protect is probably the most advantageous. But it's just a comfort thing. I have sort of an intuitive to me way of ordering my moves that I've used since I was a kid. Protect is a last slot move. Interesting, so the Zoroark gets his disguise here, so Torkoal switches out. That means I can't turn off their Rain again. Or their Sun. They get Sun for the rest of the game. And look at this. What a silly VGC screenshot this makes. We got the two Torkoal facing off against my water types. And the Zoroark is going to be the fastest Pokemon, isn't it? I mean, it's this one. I mean, I'll try, but yeah. We do knock out the Zoroark with a nice Fire Weather Ball, but we dropped a Torkoal. So that was a very cool team by my opponent, and I liked how they played it. Can't complain. We'll play until one more loss, as I believe that is only 2 so far in the video. This person has a weird ear. That's very weird. They also have what looks like a hard Trick Room team, with no shortage of setters, but not a ton of offense outside of King Gambit. I mean, I guess I have to take the water bubble Araquanid seriously. How do I beat Porygon 2 with this team? Incineroar knockoff is a good threat into it, I would think. I think I like Incineroar Maushold lead. I do have to be wary of Intimidate from the Weird Ear. Actually, I think I can lead Incineroar or Chaladon. Bring Amoonguss. Terra Fairy Porygon 2. Not fighting like I've been hearing about lately. Is Intimidate on the Weird Ear. I think I'm going to lead Incineroar, Maushold, bring our Chaladon, and then I should bring Amoonguss to this probably, but I think I will. I'll bring Amoonguss and hope that Maushold and our Chaladon are enough offense to win. The Weirdeer was kind of the last Pokemon I wanted to see in the lead. Kingambit's not great either because I've given it a Defiant boost. Just gonna go right for a Flare Blitz into Kingambit. And honestly, let's taunt the Weirdeer. Yeah, okay. Well, at least I kept it from doing anything too crazy that turn, and Flare Blitz crit probably kind of bails me out, but game's far from over, as here I'll go for knockoff into Porygon 2 and try again to taunt Weirdeer. There you go, Sinistra. Taunting that is nice too. Getting rid of the Eviolite on Porygon 2 is very good. They do get Trick Room up here, but I don't see much of any threat into Incineroar. Oh, they do have Scald on the Sinistra. I think I'm down to just Flare Blitz it, and I'll try to get a Population Bomb on the Porygon 2. Crit Incineroar with Terra Blast. Will Matcha Gotcha finish it off? No. Nor does it burn Maushold. The Flare Blitz did less than I would have liked. I think a knockoff would perhaps have been better there. Porygon 2 still is taking nothing from each individual Population Bomb hit without its Eviolite, but the damage does at least kind of add up. And I can probably get our Chaladon in pretty safely here. With the Assault Vest, I don't think it's massively threatened by either of these Pokemon. Try to pick up the Sinistra and keep up the pressure on Porygon 2, which actually switches out to Weirdeer. Oh, well, Maushold being intimidated might explain that damage. Great Matcha Gotcha dodge by Maushold there. Don't quite finish off the Sinistra. We'll get some good damage into Weirdeer, even at -2 attack. What is Weirdeer trying to do? It has Skill Swap. I don't know what it's cooking with that. I feel pretty safe to just try to pick up the Sinistra here and protect Maushold. Not risk it to a Matcha Gotcha again. As that's, yeah, the Psychic just not doing much to AVR Chaladon, nor will Matcha Gotcha. Sinistra's gone. Last turn of Trick Room. Porygon 2's back in. And with no burn on our Chaladon, I can just go for a Body Press into Porygon 2, and I'll switch Maushold out so I can threaten damage with it. After the Trick Room wears off, they can no longer switch Weirdeer in for the Intimidate. They forfeit, of course, so the game's over and we don't have to do any of that, but the goal... I mean, I don't think they could beat our Chaladon at this point, but if Amoonguss went down, then I could clean up with Maushold from there, outside of Trick Room. Another Tyranitar Excadrill team. This one with a bunch of threats. How do I deal with Dragapult? Incineroar? I don't have any Fairy type on this team. Not even a Terra Fairy. Can switch Maushold in on a Phantom Force, but Maushold probably doesn't want to be taking Dragon Darts, and more importantly, Maushold can't do any damage back to Dragapult. In fact, I think this is probably just not a Maushold game. It's only good into, like, maximum 2 of these Pokemon. Do I just try to make it work with our Chaladon here? Incineroar, Basculege, and Pelipper? It doesn't feel great, but this may just be a tough matchup. I don't know. Or maybe the Dragapult doesn't have Clear Body. Well, that changes things a bit. Switch to Pelipper here, so that if they bring Tyranitar in... No, I think it makes more sense to just... Terra Grass even, so I don't have to worry about a ground attack and attack the Excadrill. and just go right for a knockoff into Dragapult. If they switch Tyranitar in, we'll figure it out. Okay. I was thinking about them switching Tyranitar into the other slot. So yeah, just as well that I didn't try to go for a different play to cover for that. We'll get a knockoff into Excadrill. Would have preferred one into Dragapult, but we get the clean KO on Tyranitar with the body press. So now if my opponent is DC'd, I think intentionally, because now if I bring Pelipper in, they can't get the sand back. And so I could here just switch to Pelipper, maybe in the Archaludon slot, and then throw off a Flare Blitz into Excadrill. Or something. Don't know what their fourth Pokemon was, but yeah. Instead of forfeiting properly, they have disconnected. Don't love when people do that, but at least we don't have to wait too terribly long, because I've already gotten the 15-second alert. We'll just wait this out. 5 seconds. And after all my talk about this matchup seeming tough, we get a nice one-turn Rage Quit there. Another Hisuian Zoroark. Is this one going to be our undoing in this video? One way to find out. I am getting kind of tired, actually. I feel like if I don't lose this one, it won't be much longer. But you know what? Let's just do the Archaludon Maushold lead. Maybe I get the side population bomb finally before ending the video. And I'll bring Pelipper and Amoonguss and just try to win the game with Archaludon. Don't really love Incineroar or Basculegion into this Kingambit stuff. And you know what? Well, yeah, let's just see if they let me do this. They fake out Maushold. Okay, I should have protected Maushold there. I did think about it, but might still get another chance to make the play, actually. Rocky Helmet and Incineroar is a problem. You know what? I actually think I might be better off, even though it has the Rocky Helmet, going for Population Bomb into Incineroar this turn. No. That's silly. I can just Dragon Pulse Incineroar and do the side Population Bomb play. And for once, I actually kind of want to miss one. A little ways in. Critting my own Archaludon there isn't great. Don't love that. The screen is so full of text that I can't keep track of Archaludon's HP. But it takes that Dragon Claw like an absolute champ. Doesn't quite knock out the Incineroar though. But Incineroar will knock itself out with Flare Blitz Recoil. Don't love losing Maushold there because I'm kind of just dependent on Archaludon to win the game now, but well, just need to not drop to Primarina here. Right? Hope this works. Oh, it was close, but oh, and I hate the special attack drop there. But Archaludon survives the turn. I think Terra Water Amoonguss can give it a good shot at another survival. Let's just do that. Unfortunately, Archaludon is pretty badly nerfed by that Moonblast drop, but even so, they're not exactly threatening a ton of damage into it at this point. I mean, from here, I think I can just Dragon Pulse and Clear Smog into Primarina. Well, okay. Fair enough. But in that case, let's get Pelipper in. Get the Regenerator on Amoonguss. Maybe I should have done that sooner, even. But Obviously, the Primarina resists Electroshot after Terra, but I do get to overcome the Moonblast drop and promptly take another one. Just like I wanted. Maybe I get this Hurricane off into Primarina. Yep. I actually probably should have... Felt like I should have protected Pelipper there, because I thought the Primarina might protect, but instead, no more Moonblast drops. We break Multiscale on Dragonite, get a Moongus back in, and try to get rid of King Gambit right off the bat here. Do I have their team sheet? They do have Protect on King Gambit. I'm going to try to put Dragonite to sleep. Amoonguss survives the turn, so we get the Spore off into Dragonite. And now it's just a matter of keeping our Chaladon healthy and breaking through, but the opponent forfeits before we have to actually put in the work to do that. Yeah, I'm getting tired. I could lose any game from here. We got another Chaladon Rain team. This one with a Garganackle. Haven't seen one of those yet tonight. They rejected open team sheets. Garganackle's actually a pretty big problem, isn't it? Because, first of all, I have a Steel type and 2 Water types, but also a lot of my game plans run through setting that Steel type up to do a lot of damage. On the other hand, I can threaten the Garganackle with Flash Cannon, I can Terra Grass the Chaladon if I need to, and the biggest threat to Terra Grass or Chaladon is probably Pelipper, which... I mean, there are ways to handle that. Let's lead our Chaladon Maushold again. I think I like my Pelipper here. And I'll bring Basculegion. Just try to overwhelm them in the late game if they do break through our Chaladon. So after what I said about the Garganackle's Salt Cure threatening half my team, I'm bringing all of that half, but I think I'm good with it. I can't do Side Population Bomb here. Actually, I can, because if they follow me, I just hit the Clefable, and that's also fine. So, I actually might as well try Side Population Bomb here. And yeah, getting Population Bomb off into Clefable is also good. Apart from the Rocky Helmet, which I didn't know about. I'm just going to lose Maushold to that probably, so I don't get a Side Population Bomb this game. But I do get a lot of damage into Clefable, and our Chaladon should finish it off here. Yep. But I've once again allowed a Swords Dance King Gambit to set up. Hate when that happens. And there's the Garganackle. I'm gonna go right for the Terra Grass, not mess around with this Salt Cure. But I do need to get rid of this King Gambit if I can. I feel like they're gonna protect King Gambit, but I hope they don't. They're a ghost. So no body press into it, but the Weather Ball will still land. 70%. Respectable. Kowtow Cleave just takes out our Chaladon. And I'm really putting a lot on Basculegion at this point. We're going to protect it this turn and Weather Ball King Gambit and hope that they don't... Or, yeah. The idea being that they could try to Sucker Punch Basculegion. Instead, they try to Salt Cure Basculegion. And I'm just going to hope they don't have Sucker Punch, or that they don't click it for some reason. Oh, they Sucker Punch Pelipper. That was the wrong target. As they knock it down to its Sash, and we get 2 KOs this turn. I think Sucker Punch into Basculegion would have won the game for them. But we still have to get past their Chaladon. 150 power, Last Respects, and Rain Boosted Tailwind, Rain Boosted Tailwind? Rain Boosted Weather Ball are hopefully up to the task. But they get their Electroshot off into Pelipper first. And so the question is just, will Last Respects KO? Oh, 200 base power, I think it will. Yeah, perfect. So the Basculegion endgame worked just as I hoped, and I've crossed 1400 on the ladder with that one. I was in like the 1100s when I started because I've been messing around with gimmick teams. So once again, a tournament-winning team gets me quite a ways up there from where I was relative to where I started. I'm not saying I'm on the high ladder right now, but this person is a Belly Bolt and immediately rejected open team sheets, and I'm going to be honest, I do not know what Belly Bolt does. This could be that loss I've been predicting for a bit. I also don't know how I beat Annihilate with this team. I feel like Pelipper... Actually, Amoonguss is pretty solid into it too. I think Incineroar Amoonguss maybe a little bit of a passive lead, but it covers a lot of the threats here. And I do bring Pelipper. Maybe I bring Basculegion? I think that's okay. We leave Maushold and our Chaladon behind. A little weird, but I do give them a Defiant there. I didn't really properly think about that, but we're just going to try to put the Annihilate right to sleep. And get a knockoff into the Farigiraf. It's Final Gambit Annihilate, but it doesn't quite take out Amoonguss. That's excellent. I don't know whether... What am I saying? I made this Amoonguss EV spread. Obviously, whether the original team builder prepped for that or not isn't really a factor here. They bring Tyranitar in. If they let me, I can knock out Farigiraf, and as I get my Pelipper in here, I can get Rain for the rest of the game. They do leave Farigiraf in, so yeah, Tyranitar is now unable to switch in again. Letting both of my Pokemon take a Rock Slide there might not have been ideal, but I might be able to win with Basculegion in the late game. And with that in mind, I'm more afraid of Bellibolt than I am of Tyranitar. So let's just try to deal with that. If they'll let me. I don't know what the Bellibolt is going to try to do. Terra Grass Tyranitar is not what I want to see. If I'm trying to beat it with Basculegion in the end game. But also, Bellibolt takes my 2 attacks. And throws off a Muddy Water. I think I can still lose this. I do think I can still lose this. Can't Spore the Tyranitar. And let me knock out Bellibolt here. Oh, I meant to Terra Basculegion. Yeah, well there I go getting tired. I don't know if I would have won if I Terra'd Basculegion, but it drops to the knockoff with its Ghost typing still on. Drop back below 1400, but just barely, and there it is, the video ending mistake at the end of a long laddering session. But I've enjoyed this team a lot. This team is full of threats. It has bulky game plans, it has fast offensive game plans, so you can mix and match them. And the Technician Wide Lens Population Bomb Maushold. Perhaps a bit of a forgotten threat from back in Reg A, but really coming through in a lot of these games. I did have some good luck. But Maushold also makes its own luck to an extent. And I think the mice were unlaced pretty nicely here. Probably grab another Baltimore team in a week or so. In the meantime, I have a gimmick or two coming up, but bye-bye a go-go for now.